race. You have Calandagan going into the King George at Ascot. He's now a Group 1 winner. How much of a relief or a satisfaction was it for you to finally get that top level win for him?
Oh, obviously it was a real pleasure to see him winning, but it's really the way he did it that pleased me. The horse was very impressive that day, and so we did the job done and in a very good manner.
They've had to wait. Calandagan getting what he deserves. Calandagan wins the Group 1 Grand Prix de Saint-Cloud.
So Emily, we've got Calandagan coming into the King George. How big of an objective is it for him?
Well, I think it's been on Francis's radar since the beginning of the year. Obviously, it's the right distance. We're hoping to get the ground that he prefers, which is good fast ground. It's a great track for him. He's won over the course and distance, obviously, at the Royal Meeting last year. So I think it was always on his radar, but it became a firm objective after he won the Grand Prix de Saint-Cloud. We were really looking for that Group 1 win, so he's got that under his belt now, and it is important to run internationally, I think, for the Aga Khan Studs, for the brand, for our stallions, for the bloodstock. At the top level it is an international game now, so it is important to run in these big races in England and abroad, but no, we're confident that he's going to run a good race.
Calandagan's going to be a runaway winner of the King Edward VII Stakes. Calandagan for France.
He was so impressive that day, so that was a relief and really nice to watch.
He really showed himself to be a proper Group 1 horse in that race. You always hope that they're going to do something like that, but you never expect it. And then he has been running just so well in Group 1 level at all kind of distances, tracks, grounds, countries. He's a very consistent horse. Things probably do have to just fall a little bit right for him to get his head in front, but look, he's a very classy horse and he's very, consistent, genuine. So yeah, we're looking forward to the race at Ascot.
So can you just talk us through his kind of run of second places? When you look at them, there was actually a legitimate reason every time for his defeats.
In the Judgment International, we have to remember we dropped him back in distance. It was his first time in Graffard company. He was very impressive, beaten by a very fit, very good horse that day, so we were pleased with that run. After that, my regret is the Champion Stakes. We had a good draw, we wanted to be closer to the pace, and I think that didn't suit the horse at all. He found a gap, jumped into the gap probably too soon, rushed too much that day and got beaten by a good horse, but I was upset that day.
You thought you'd won that day?
Yeah, that was a big goal, and I think the horse was ready to win. So we had things against us. Dubai, a very good run in Dubai. And the other day, my first thought is he needed a run, especially on that ground at Epsom and climbing. And we fight a very strong staying type horse that day, so he didn't disgrace himself. I never was too upset about his races, really. He's a very good horse and his form is strong all the time, so that was good.
How important is that course and distance experience coming into the King George?
I think any experience abroad, especially when you go from France to England, is very important, because French racing is always tactical. It's not a big crowd. The horses don't learn much, I find. So obviously Calandagan to win at Ascot on course and distance, it's really a big thing, and he has travelled a lot already. So, but on the other hand, that's why I wanted to keep him for the Grand Prix de Saint-Cloud. I wanted to just do 1 hour of horse box going to the races for him before we challenge a big target again. So it worked, and I think the experience will be very important.
What are his qualities as a racehorse?
His acceleration is unbelievable. He has rhythm, but when he's well balanced, he can really produce a long acceleration, and when you look at him, he's not much, so you can't expect that. So it's really he's an example of what an engine and mechanic is on a racehorse. So it's good to see and to watch.
So we're talking about the King George. We'll have to have a look back at the win last year for Goliath. How big a moment was that for him and for you as a trainer in your career?
Goliath has been a difficult horse. We have been beaten many times with him. He was quite tricky during the races. We wanted to go abroad to find a little bit of pace, so we took him to the Hardwick to get the experience with the back of in our mind of the King George, and that day at Royal Ascot he pulled again.
Goliath runs keenly, just in behind the leader.
He finished a strong second, despite the fact that he pulled. There was not much pace, but we stick to our plan. We went back there. I was on my own, and Lisa, my wife, didn't come, and I looked, and I think I was 40-1 or something like that, and I was like, oh my God, it's I will probably look like a fool, but then when I saw the pace and the way the horse travelled, and Christophe Soumillon, we have to remind that was the first time he sat on the horse, but he really wanted to ride him, and he knew how to ride him, and that was just unbelievable when he entered the straight and cruising. That was a really good thrill.
And Christophe Soumillon is looking at the crowd, he's looking behind them, there are no dangers, and Goliath, a very ready winner of the King George.
The way he won was fantastic, and I want to go back there and win that race again. I like to challenge myself against the best. It doesn't work all the time, but you learn every time you go, and you learn something, and I think the experience in my job is very important. And the belief in your horses and not being scared, it's a big key too. So when you go there and you win a big race, it's a good satisfaction.
Gazora goes to the front from Bedtime Story, and Gazora scores. And that's how the trainer responds to getting first, third and fourth in the Prix de Diane.
It's been a huge season so far for the Francis-Henri Graffard stable. What do you put this success down to?
Obviously the hard work done every day is paying. The support of the owners is rewarded. We have increased the numbers and also the quality of the horses. Everybody says well done, but obviously we are very pleased. But on the other hand, tomorrow is another day, and with another owner, another horse, and we need to keep bringing winners. So you can't deny that it's going well, but on the other hand, you can't be over the moon all the time, and the season is not finished. We need to keep going. We have big goals. So this is my job, and I'm just glad for my staff, really. It makes everybody happy.
Do you have any superstitions or a particular routine on race day?
My superstition is to be superstitious. I force myself to avoid any type of superstition. I force myself to change my ties, to watch racing in different areas of the track. I never go to the same spot because I won a big race that day on that spot. So I really force myself to avoid all this type of crazy. That makes you crazy and stressed. So no, I just try to prove myself. It's nothing is about superstition, and you can win a race watching it from anywhere on the track anyway.
And just finally on the King George, Calandagan will obviously be carrying the colours of the late Aga Khan. Is this something that's particularly important for the Aga Khan Studs to kind of continue the legacy of this stable, notably on British soil?
I think so. I mean, when you do this sport, you want to be competitive and seen on the biggest stage. I mean, there is no point winning small races. You can win 300 small races and nobody notices it. And I think the goal is to win these big races, especially when you are on a breeder and you increase the value of all your families, and you can be selective also. So I think for me, it brings me a big joy to see the colours being competitive at the top level. But when they ask me to train Aiglemont, that's my way. I am very competitive, and I want to win big races. So that was part of the deal.